everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Helen and today I'm going to do my mid-year freakout tag for 2024. I would like to thank Sam for Griff Reads for suggesting this video on Instagram for me. I was going to be filming a few videos and I was looking for extra ideas, and she said she loves to watch at this time of year people doing the best books and worst books of the year so far and like mid-year stuff. So I thought, right, mid-year freakout tag. I did it maybe a year or two ago, and so it will be good to do it again. There are lots of different people who've done this video over the years. I don't know who the original is, but if you type in mid-year freakout tag, you can go through all those videos and enjoy yourself and watch them all. So without further ado, there are 13 questions. I'm going to try and make it not take too long. But yeah, I just looked at my last video and wrote the questions down, and then had to think about which ones I've read between January and June, and yeah, which fit in best with the prompts. So the first one is the best book of 2024 so far. I've put The House of Fortune by Jessie Burton. That is the sequel to The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton. I gave The Miniaturist 3 stars. I gave The House of Fortune 5 stars. The Miniaturist had loads of questions at the end. I was a bit confused, and I feel like all those questions were answered and then some in the sequel. So yeah, I was really happy with that. I do like Jessie Burton's writing. I've read The Confession as well. I would like to read The Muse at some point. And in the last video of the freakout tag, I mentioned The House of Fortune back then and still hadn't read it, and this is like 3 years later possibly. And I mentioned The Muse then as well. So I will get around to The Muse at some point. Hopefully in a TBR video I can make it fit one of the prompts, or a readathon that I do, but we will see. The best sequel that I've read this year, sorry, I'm just looking down at my notes. I've put Rivals by Catherine McGee. That was the second one in the American Royals series. I think I give the first one 4 stars. Or did I give, no, the first one 5 stars, the second one 5 stars, and then I give the last one 4 stars. Slightly less impressed with that one, but all fantastic. Yeah, I've always said it's like a cross between Gossip Girl and like the Selection series for me. I just yeah, big fan, and I would look out for more of Catherine McGee's books in future. A new release that I haven't read yet but really want to, definitely The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. I enjoyed The Hunting Party. I'm trying to think what the other one was called. The Wedding Guest, is it? There's one set at a wedding. There's one, obviously, a hunting party. And then this one is obviously set around a campfire. And it's a similar kind of thing. People come back together after like 15 years, meet together in a place, and then somebody's found dead. And there's all these secrets and past rivalries and all come out. But I like them. I enjoy them. And so I've had this one on hold with my library. But I think I'm like 7th on the list for it. Maybe 7th, maybe 4th. Anyway, it's going to take a while to come. I'm looking at that's the library I used to work at, and that's where I tend to put a lot of my holds on. But my local library, because it's quite a small library and I don't think it's as used as some of the bigger ones in the area, every library gets a copy of the book. But I tend to find it at my library on the actual shelf in the new books, because I just don't think it's as well used as some of the bigger ones. So I'm hoping that will happen for me. So I keep an eye on the catalogue, and as soon as they say they're actually available to go and get, I will check on my local library and see if it's there. So yeah, I'm really excited for that one. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year, I put The Wilds by Sarah Pearce. Read The Sanatorium, read The Retreat, loved them both. Really tense, really actually quite anxiety inducing, but I managed to cope with it because the writing's so good and I'm so intrigued. So yeah, and it carries on through. There's a character who's in all of them, and then I don't know if it's a similar character who's kind of following her through. I can't remember a lot about it, but I just know that I love the feeling while I'm reading them. And so that one is out on July the 16th. So I actually haven't got that long to wait, about a month, and I am excited. I may try and pre-order that somewhere soon. The biggest disappointment of the year so far, I've put Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter. It was really bigged up. Everybody was talking about it because it was kind of, they said kind of different the way it was written, but I kind of felt like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder kind of wrote in a similar way. And so I wasn't that impressed by it, and kind of at the end of it I thought, yeah, that's okay for a bit of a twist and interesting, but I don't know, I wanted more from it because it was so hyped and it just didn't, it fell a bit flat. So I gave it 3 stars because I still enjoyed it, but I don't know, I just wanted more from it, and so I feel like that was my biggest disappointment of the year. Biggest surprise of the year, I've put Role Playing by Kathy Yardley. I can't remember what readathon I took part in, but I took part in a readathon earlier on in the year, and one of the suggestions, actually it might have been Roller Reads, maybe it was in March time, and I had to pick a host favourite, and one of them had put Role Playing by Kathy Yardley. I managed to find this in an ebook form. Can't remember where from. It might have been on my library app. And it was about an older woman who met a partner by playing video games online. And I liked the fact that this book was talking about, when I say older people, I'm talking about, you know, it's not everybody in the 20s. A lot of books are set in that time. These are like people in the 40s. And so I enjoyed that aspect, and I enjoyed the romance in that, and yeah, it was just a nice read. I think I gave it 4 stars. I don't think I gave it 5 stars, but it was a nice surprise because I didn't think I would enjoy a book about gaming because I'm not a big gamer. Having said that, my little girl is now into Roblox. We tried to hold off on that for a while, but all of her friends in school are playing it, so we've kind of let her on it. And there's a game called Adopt Me, and she used to say, oh, will you come on? No, I'm not bothered, I'm not really interested in that kind of thing. So I'd play on it every so often with her to keep her entertained, but then I got addicted, and I am an all or nothing person with it when it comes to stuff like that. And then it just kind of, I felt like it was taking over. I was playing on it regularly, and I just thought, no. So I gave her all my animals off that, all the money that I had on there, and left her to it. And I said, Sophie, I'm an all or nothing. I have to either give it up or I have to play it non-stop. There's no in between for me. So yeah, I am a bit of a gamer in those things, but ones that you can just play on your phone, little games. So that was my biggest surprise of the year. Next one, new favourite author. I've put Rachel McLean for this. She's not necessarily new because I read her last year. There is a series called the Dorset Crime series. She writes other series, but this one was the Dorset Crime series, and I wanted to read it because I love the area of Dorset, family holidays to Bournemouth and Poole, loved it. So I think I read the 3rd one in January, and then since then I've read up to book 9, which is the last in the series. So I basically read 7 of her books this year. So I'm going to call her a new favourite author. And when I get to the end of the year and you see my stats, you will see on that pie chart she is a big part of the author pie chart because I've read 7 of her books this year. They're not fantastically written, but the characters are well drew out, and I just pictured them very well, and I love the characters, so that's what kept me addicted to those books. There's a spin-off of a detective that she knows called Zoe, and so I might move on to that series at some point, but I don't know if it'll be this year. It'll probably be next year, but I'm a fan. And what I like is I think they were independently published to begin with, but they've got a bit of a following through, I think I read some of mine through my library app, but I also read them through Kindle Unlimited when I had that. And I think through talk of it, and they've become popular, they've now been actually published through, like, and they're now in the works, for example. So put it this way, I got them really cheaply. Obviously got them for free through Kindle Unlimited and then through my library app and stuff like that. They were quite easy to get hold of. And then when I told my friend about them, she could only find the book for £9.99. And I was surprised by that because I'd managed to get them so easily and not for an expensive amount. So they are obviously building that readership. For newest fictional crush, don't really get crushes on book characters, I've got to say. However, if I was, I would imagine that Hayes Campbell from The Idea of You by Robin Lee, I could imagine that I could develop a crush there, only because I liked that book because it was about an older woman, and by an older woman I mean in her late 30s. She was a mum and she fell for somebody who was in a boy band. He was very mature for his age. He had a really like fun-loving attitude, like very mature, kind of like let's live in the moment. And I find that quality very appealing, because you need people like that in your life who are saying, don't worry about it, let's just live in the moment. I don't mean like smoking weed and I mean more like just going with the flow. And so Andy is a very much my husband is very much go with the flow person. He's very, let's see how it goes, let's, you know, be in the moment. And I think that's why I find it attractive, because I find it so attractive in my husband. So yeah, Hayes Campbell, The Idea of You. I could see how people could have a crush. The next one is new favourite character. I can't call it a new favourite character because I've already done a whole read through of this series, all 4 books I want to say. But I am rereading, but re-listening to The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. In the job that I'm doing now as an administrator, I'm in an office on my own a lot. I'm doing a lot of typing, and so I like having audiobooks on in the background. And I wanted an audiobook that I didn't have to listen to every single word and obsess about it to make sure I've got it. I've read these before. I know the gist of the stories. I know the characters, and so it doesn't matter if I catch every word and know exactly what's going on all the time, because I've already read them. So I'm making my way through. I'm on book 2 now. I'm halfway through that. But my favourite character is Joyce. I love all of them, and I cannot wait for the movie to come out. That's a by the by as to whether you think the characters, the actors that they've got who are playing the characters are the right ones for the roles. The ones that have been announced, so well, all 4 main characters have been announced now. So you've got Helen Mirren as Elizabeth, which I don't mind. I think that's okay. I can see that. Celia Imrie as Joyce. She's a very good actress. I'm sure she'll pull that off. I'm intrigued to see how that goes, although I could see her as Elizabeth. So Ben Kingsley as Ibrahim, I don't particularly have an opinion. I'm intrigued to see how he does it. He's not quite who I pictured, but we'll see. The one I've got the biggest problem with is Ron, and they've come up with Pierce Brosnan as that person who's going to portray him. I've seen a lot of Pierce Brosnan films. I know how he comes across in the films. Ron is like an East End bad boy, got quite a history. I just don't picture Pierce Brosnan as that. My picture of that was more like what's his name? Ray Winston kind of character. Ray Winston and Pierce Brosnan, you wouldn't imagine being compared. So I'm intrigued. I think Pierce Brosnan is a good actor, and I'm hoping that he can really pull Ron off. But that was the one out of everything I thought, please don't say he's playing Ron. Please say he's going to be Elizabeth's husband, Stephen, or something else. But I am intrigued to see who the other characters are going to be. So I'm really intrigued to see who they come up with for Bob Dan. I'm really intrigued to see who they come up with Chris and Donna and Stephen as well. So all those announcements are still to come, and I'm pretty sure I saw on Twitter the other day that Richard Osman said there's announcements coming soon, so I'm hoping they're going to announce some more of the characters. I might pop on after this and see if there's any more. So yeah, Joyce from the Thursday Murder Club, favourite character, not necessarily new. A book that made me cry. None of the books that I've read in the last 6 months have made me cry. Possibly felt a bit emotional with Landlines by Raina Wynn, which is the 3rd book in the trilogy of non-fiction about leading on from The Salt Path, where she goes with a husband who's got a brain degenerative disease, and walking seems to help, and exercise seems to help with his condition. And so that was emotional, but I didn't cry. A book that made me happy, I've gone for 2. I've put What You're Looking For Is in the Library by Michiko Ayama. I'm reading that at the moment on my library app, and it's split up into, I want to say, 5 chapters. And each of these people come to this library, meet this reference librarian, and she gives them a little gift, and she gives them a list of the books they're looking for, but obviously also one that's just totally left field that they weren't expecting, and then end up helping them with their life. I've only read 2 of the stories so far. I'm on the 3rd one. Yeah, I'm enjoying it, and so that's making me happy, because I love the idea of a librarian being able to suggest a book and somebody gets something from it. but I'm liking the different people's lives and how they go about their issues and things they're struggling with. And another one that was an unexpected one was London's #1 dog walking agency by Kate McDougall. Again, like I said, I'm working in a job at the minute where I'm listening more to audiobooks, and this was one, a non-fiction one that I kind of found on my library app, just put on, and it is basically she starts her own dog walking agency, and it's around how she sets that up, why it comes about, the different dogs that she looks after, the different people who own these dogs, and you know, she's got regular dogs that she walks, and then she's got ones for high, what's the word, not high, like there's a well-known apparently actor or somebody who she looks after a dog for. She's looking at like the high end of London and that kind of community who it's like their dog is their all. I'm not saying not everybody's dog is their all, but for them it's like the expectations they have of what she will do for them, for their dog, for them in their life is another world. But I found it really entertaining. It made me happy because it kept me company while I was doing my job, and yeah, because it was unexpected, it was really nice. The most beautiful book I've bought or have received, I guess I would have to go for Devotion by Hannah Kent. Not with that. That's got Australia on it because that's what I'd read it for Eurovisionathon. I think it's the sprayed edges and the beautiful cover. Yeah, I picked that up in the Waterstones Sale for £5 and I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. And then finally, what books do I need to read by the end of the year? I always say these ones. I guess, let me have a quick look. I'd like to read more off my Kindle. I'd like to read more off my Audible. My July TBR, I've managed to get one of each on, so that's good. I'm guessing the ones up this top end, so I really want to read the first in the Sisters series by Lucinda Riley, so I would like to read the 7 Sisters. The Foundling is a book that I started reading and then never finished, so I'd like to start that one again. Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen is the last one of her 6 that I haven't read. And I guess for the final book support group part of my July TBR, I guess I could include that and say it's not a series, I understand that, but it's a series of books that I haven't read the last one in. And so maybe that's a suggestion that I could include if I felt like it. I guess I'd like to finish the Summers of the Sisterhood series by Anne Brasher. I am partway through my reread of those. I'm doing quite well in getting ones off my shelves that have been there for a while, so I'm not too concerned about that. But I guess there's ones that have been there a long time, like My Family and Other Animals, that's been on my TBR for Eurovisionathon for quite a long time. Sari by Sue Dharmapal, kind of like there to get that off there. I started the first in the Ladies Murder Club by James Patterson. Wasn't in the right mood at the time, read the first chapter and it freaked me out, but it's not unlike thrillers that I've read before, so I know I can do it. I just have to be in the right frame of mind. So I'm going to give that a second chance at some point because I at least want to get the first one off my shelves. Whether I want to start another series with a load of books after it, I don't know. But there's some of the ones that I'm thinking about. So thank you to Sam for Reads for suggesting this video. Thank you to me for finally sitting down and recording some videos. And I hope to see you soon. And thank you finally to you guys for watching. And hopefully you will interact in the comments and let me know what some of your favourite books have been or answer any other questions really, and I will speak soon. Bye.